Okay, the next two tools that we're going to be using as part of our basic drawings, basic drawing tools are the polygon, okay, which is also, it does live in the rectangle command. So make sure that whenever that you have this arrow, you know that this is an expandable menu. So I have the polygon here, okay, and once I click on the polygon, it's asking me, take a look at what it's asking me in the command line. It's asking me to enter the number of sides. Now the default is always going to be 4, but and then you can change the number of sides. So let's say that I want to create a pentagon. I'm just going to click here and click 5, type 5 on my keyboard and click enter from the keyboard. Now here it's specifying the center of the polygon. So after how many sides that you want to specify the center of that polygon. Let's say the center is going to be here. So I'm just going to click. And then the final thing that's going to ask me to put an input for is it inscribed in a circle or circumscribed about the circle? So I'm just going to select the choice with I, which is referring to inscribed. So I'm going to type I on my keyboard and enter. Okay, and then specifying the radius of that circle. So if I click and drag, okay, you can see that whenever that I use my cursor away from the center, there is an ortho here because ortho is on. Okay, so if I clicked upward, this means that this is the way that the pentagon is going to be, and this is a 90-degree angle. So if I move the cursor on the side as incremental to another 90-degree on that side, and if I go down, this is 270. So there are two inputs that I can put here: the angle where the radius is going to be. Here it's 0, and the radius is 3,915 millimeters, or I'm going to go up, and that's 90-degree. Okay, so the two values here that I can put. Now, the value that I will use is the 90, okay, for the angle, and for ortho, or for the value of the radius while we are in the ortho mode, I'm just going to type 2,500 and enter. Once I do that, and clicking enter, then I have the pentagon created. All right. Now let's say that I want to create a from that same center of the circle, I want to create another polygon. But this polygon is not going to be a pentagon, it's going to be a hexagon. So how to do that? I'm going to go again to this command here, and the command is activated. As we said, if I put a command line in polygon, okay, that's the only command that starts with a POLIGON, and this means that I can basically write this here, or I can pick the command from the draw panel. So I'm just gonna click enter on my keyboard, and this time I want the number of sides to be 6. So I'm just gonna type 6 on my keyboard and enter. Now it's asking me to specify the center of the polygon. Now, specifying the center of the polygon, meaning specifying the center of the circle, okay, where that polygon was inscribed inside. Now, how to do that? How to get that center? All right. Now, right now you can see on my screen that I have a center already specified as the center. So how to get that? Now, what's going to help us is to turn on object snap. Okay. So if it's not turned on after all of the exercises that we had done, you just turn it on by activating it, and then click on it. And once you click on it, there is the menu has to come. Now, if it didn't, you can actually click with the right mouse button for the menu to be displayed. Sometimes you can display it if all of those are deactivated. Then when you click here to activate the object snap, that menu. So, for example, if I'm taking this off right this, and then if I clicked here. Once you click here and nothing is selected, only then the drafting settings are going to come up. All right. So, but for now, what I need to select from here is a geometric center. The geometric center is going to enable you to pick the circle center where the pentagon was inscribed in, so we can use it for creating the hexagon. So the geometric center is what I want, and clicking OK. And now if I hover over this point here, okay, near the center, I can see that it's saying specify, that's the geometric center of that circle. So I'm just going to click, all right. And now the final thing that I want inscribed in a circle, yes, this is the options that I want. So I'm just going to click on inscribed in circle and then move my cursor. Now, when I move my cursor up at 90 degree and I move my cursor down here at 0, you can see the difference that this is going to give us. Okay. Also, I need to mark the radius of that circle, and I'm going to use the same radius that I used before, which is 2500, and enter. Okay. So here is a way of creating the different types of polygons. You can continue doing that by clicking on polygon from here or typing polygon here, and maybe this time we're going to use 8. Enter. Okay, specify the center of the polygon. We also, if this is working with me, if this is still activated after selecting the geometric center, I'm just going to click inscribed in a circle and then moving this up, and maybe this time I'm going to put 3000 as the radius, and this is how it's going to look like. Okay, so a very easy way to create, and those, as you know, can be tables, can be floor plan of any table shape, or maybe this can be like a mirror, an elevation of a mirror. So make sure that you understand that those tools are going to be very important for you to practice. So I hope after everything is finished, you can go back and practice those as in the videos. The final tool that we're going to use today is the ellipse. Now the ellipse, okay, does have 2 different radii. So if you click on the ellipse, okay, you're going to specify the center of that ellipse. I'm just going to come here and specify a center, and I'm going to specify the endpoint of the axis. So specifying endpoint of axes, it might be, as you can see, I have 2 axes here. I have 1 radius on the side and I have another radius on the sides. So I'm just going to specify here the endpoint of that axis, and I'm going to type 1000. Now it's asking you to specify the distance to the other axes. Now in this way, we're specifying actually the y. So the first axis that we specified, okay, was the x. Now the second axis that we're going to specify is the y direction. And I'm going to type also here a different value than the 1000. Maybe this time I'm going to specify 2000 and enter. And as you can see, this is 1000 and this is 2000. All right. So another way, I'm going to click again and clicking the center. So this is the center. I'm just going to try to hover to find the geometric center. Now the geometric center, if it's not displayed, this means that I need to find this center. Okay. So I'm just going to type here. I'm going to come here to the object snap, and then I'm going to click. I'm going to click again and right click with the mouse tool. And then I'm going to go to center. Now, this is a geometric center, which is different than the center for the ellipse and the circle. So I'm going to click on center here, and I'm going to hover over to try to find the center. And now when you hover over, okay, so many times, then the center is going to come up. You don't expect to find it just when you add the cursor somewhere near the center, because you have to go near it so many times to try to find it. And then I'm going to click. Okay, and this time I'm going to flip. Instead, the last time we did the shorter side or the shorter radius was on the x-axis. Now the other radius is on the shorter axis is going to be on the y radius. So here I'm just going to extend this and type 2000, enter, and then I'm going to go up. All right, so you can see that I go up by hovering. Okay, I'm not clicking. By hovering to where the y-axis is going to be, where the perpendicular axis on the x is going to be, and I'm going to type 1000 and enter. All right, so this is a way of creating, very easy way of creating the ellipse, because you got two centers, you got two radius, and just by marking where the center is going to be and marking which radius is going, the first radius is always the x-axis, okay? I just want you to start using the terminology, which is the x and y, knowing where your direction is going to be. So I prefer to put the x direction first and putting the y direction second, because this is the way that AutoCAD kind of prefers information to be input at.